Hello, welcome back to Chess Mindset. In this video, I have a very nice 1500 Elo puzzle that I came across during Puzzle Rush Survival. So the white pawns are going up the board and the black pawns are going down the board. And basically in this position, it is white to move. So if you want to have a go at this puzzle, then pause the video right now and have a go at this before I talk about the solution. Okay, so let's talk about this solution now. Well, we have a rook, bishop, and knight for a queen. So it's roughly equal, if you can call it that. But also we're basically down in 3 pawns, right? Opponent has 4 pawns and we only have 1 pawn. So it seems like we need to make some sort of forcing moves in this puzzle. And the first forcing move that I see is rook to g2 because that gives a check to the king. And also no other moves really make sense. I mean, you can't really do anything with your bishop. Your knight doesn't have any checks. So the most natural move that you would think of is rook to g2. And now the king has a few options. But actually, if we can narrow it down to just one option, because notice that the king is in check, right? It can't go to g6 or g8, of course. And it can't go to f7 because the bishop and knight are covering that square. So it can only move to f8, f6, or to h6. Also move to h8. But we notice that if they move to h8, then that's just checkmate with rook to g8, right? Bishop covers the rook, and king has no escape square. So you can't go to h8. What about if it goes to f8? Well, actually, this runs into a fork, because now we can go knight to d7, and this forks the king and queen, and when the king moves, let's say here, then we just take the queen, and we're going to be winning. And actually, this is the same for if king goes to f6. It's the same thing. We go knight to d7, and this is just a fork again, right? After king moves, then we take the queen. So the only move after rook g2 is king to h6. And here is where we can make a series of forcing moves that put the king in a bad position. And let's see what we can do. Well, first of all, notice that the king is cut off from this file now, right? So if we give this knight check, knight to f7, well, the king can't move to the left because we just said the rook is cutting off that file. So the king has to move to h5. And now we have a few options. We could play rook to h2, give another check, but the problem with that is that the king just escapes to g6, and we're going to be in the same spot again. There's also this rook check with rook to g5 because the knight is covering the rook. But the problem is after king to h4, we don't really have any other checks. Like every single check, we just lose our rook like that. Right. So the only reasonable check we have here is bishop to f3 check. And this basically keeps forcing the king down the board. Because remember, this file is cut off, the knight is covering the square, the bishop is targeting this square, so the king has to move to h4, right? That's a forced move. And now we have a few options again, but once again, if we go rook to h2, the king can just go to g3, and now we have no more checks, because if we go, let's say here, then we just lose our bishop. If we go here, then we lose our rook, and there's no other checks left for us. So we can't go rook to h2. What about rook to g4? Well, actually, this is a very good move because now, notice that the king cannot go to g3 or g5 because the rook is covering. The only two moves are king to h5 and king to h3. If the king goes to h5, then notice that the queen and king are on the same rank. So what does that mean? It means we can play rook to g5, and now notice that basically we give a discover check on the king with the bishop, right? And also our knight is protecting our rook, which means the king can't take our rook, so it has to move to h4, and then we can just take the queen, right? So the king can't move to h5 because it loses the queen, so it has to move to h3. And now we continue our forcing moves. Notice that we have this check, right? And obviously any check with the rook, we just lose our rook. And this bishop check looks like it might work, but we just lose our rook as well. So the only other forcing move we have is knight to g5. And here, obviously, if the queen takes, then we win a queen. And so the king will move to h2 because that is the only move. Now what do? Well, again, we could give this check with rook to h4, but the king moves to g1. And it seems like we can do something with rook to h1, right? But the king will just move to f2, and the king will actually escape, and we can't have any more checks. So, and obviously if we give a knight check, we lose our bishop, right? Check here, we lose our bishop. So we can't go rook to h1. Oh, sorry, we can't go rook to h4 in this position. Well, we have to go rook to g2. And notice this is actually a very nice pattern, because before, when we played rook to g4, right? Before, our rook was on g2, and we play rook to h4, and after the king moves here, moves back to h2, then we move our rook back to g2. So we're sort of repeating the same thing, but the difference is now that we have a knight on g5, which covers the h3 square, so the king can't actually move back. Whereas in the previous position, right, when our rook was on g2, the king always has this escape square. But when we basically force the king down the board and brought our knight to g5, now we're covering this crucial h3 square, so the king can't escape, which means that the only move the king has is to move to h1. And now, pause the video right now if you want to find the finishing blow to this puzzle. But basically, there are a few ideas here. Of course, you can just win a queen with rook to c2, right? And after the king moves to g1, you take the queen. But there's actually a forced checkmate in this situation without having to take the queen. And the move is rook to f2, giving this discover check with the bishop. And obviously the rook covers, like, it confines the king into this box. The king can only move to g1. And now we play knight to h3, and this is checkmate because knight is covering these two squares, right? Bishop is covering these two squares, and the rook is covering these squares, so the king has no escape. And that's the end of the puzzle. So this puzzle is a pretty tricky one, because especially for beginners, because it does require you to calculate the lines all the way. But the most important thing, I guess, is you want to think about what is the only move the king can make, and then calculate your lines from there. Because after rook to g2, we notice that the king can't actually go to any of these squares, because once again, it runs into a fork, right? So then we can narrow it down even further. Obviously, you can't go there because it gets checkmated. Can't go there because of the same reason, right? The fork. So from this point, we can just say, okay, the king has to go here. And then what do? Right? Obviously, we can narrow it down even further, because if we give this check, the king only has one move. So we can just calculate that. Okay. In this position, it's actually bishop to f3 again, and then king to h4, because once again, no other moves. And then we can just keep calculating the moves until, right, there's only one possible continuation. And basically we do that all the way. It actually becomes pretty straightforward once you just calculate the forcing moves in this puzzle. And basically, if you calculate all the way, then it will just be forced checkmate. So if you enjoyed this puzzle, then be sure to like and subscribe, and also join my community if you want your games analyzed or you want to see more content like this. I have a beginner to 1000 Elo program that you might want to check out, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.